Minionworks presents Troublesome Times in Tumbleson County.
You're listening to AM 72 WCOC, the voice of reason in Tumbleson County. I'm Henry Blackwood, and that was the Dixie Mountaineers closing out this morning's devotional hour with He Was Nailed to the Cross for Me. It's now a half hour past 9 o'clock here in Youngtown. Time to catch up on local and national news, but first, a word from a brand new member of the AM 72 family, Albright's Books and Bibles.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, we're on the air right now, Miss Albright.
What should I just...
Just talk right there into the microphone in front of you.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, then.
This is Zenobia. If you have not gotten your Old Farmer's Almanac for the coming season, it's not too late. Just come down to Albright's. We still have a few copies left from the last order. There will be some tips in there for dry soil. I also have plenty of Bibles and hymnals if you need to restock your local prayer circle. If you are feeling adventurous, ask me about my penny dreadfuls. Set fire to your imagination. Next door to Parsons General and Sodas on Baker Street. Thank you.
Very good, Miss Albright. That's Albright's Books and Bibles, folks. Be sure to tell them old Henry sent you. You can go ahead and go, Miss Albright.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's 9:34, Sunday, March 5th, in the year of our Lord, 1933, and here in Youngtown and across our great county, it's 66 degrees out with clear blue skies as we enter our 53rd straight day without a single drop of rain. Looking at local news, the Tumbleson Volunteer Fire Department yesterday extended the countywide burn ban through the end of April as drought conditions continue to plague our fair county with no relief in sight for the foreseeable future. The VFD continues to ask for volunteers to clear out brush and construct fire break around Youngtown. Sheriff Horace Ferguson has asked us to remind our listeners that those caught disobeying the burn ban will be fined $30 and spend 10 days in the county jail, and I quote, "if the stupid bastards don't burn themselves up before I get to them." And speaking of our sheriff, a few notes now from the Tumbleson County Blotter. The reward for information on the theft of Clem Connerly's Gator trailer has been raised to $25. Clem would sure be appreciative to get that trailer back soon as the Tumbleson County Fair is coming up, and without it, there's going to be a lot of disappointed boys and girls who are looking forward to the annual Gator Wrestling Show. Deputies were called out to the corner of Pine and 6th Street this past Saturday evening where it was reported that someone was yelling for help from underneath the Bennett's front porch. Upon arrival, officers found Augustus Bennett halfway under his porch calling for the family's new cat that had crawled under the house that morning and refused to come back out. Mr. Bennett informed deputies that his wife Clara had named the cat Help in an effort to make him look like an idiot every time he had to call for it, as she didn't want a cat in the house in the first place. No word on whether or not the cat was ever rescued. And finally, Sheriff Ferguson has asked us to kindly remind our listeners that no matter how funny it might seem at the time, digging up and dumping a fire ant mound down the backside of Bobby Jack McGee's overalls is technically assault and battery, and to please knock it off. As the sheriff put it, and I quote, "These constant goddamn trips out to the McGee place to calm his mama down are starting to cut into my afternoon nap time." In sports, our Tumbleson County Mudcats fell yesterday to the Baptiste Parish Cardinals by the final score of 7-6 after 13 innings. The Mudcats have now dropped 6 straight and have fallen below 500 for the first time all season. Up next is a doubleheader on Saturday against the reigning Southern States League champions, the Hattiesburg Highlanders. Game 1 start time is 1:30 p.m. Turning now to national news, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was sworn in yesterday in Washington, D.C. as our nation's 32nd president, and afterwards he spoke to those gathered at the United States Capitol.
President Hoover, Mr. Chief Justice, my friends, this is a day of national consecration, and I am certain that on this day my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into the presidency, I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our people impels. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper. So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance.
Fear. I think it's interesting, folks, that our new president talks about fear. Fear is pretty palpable in these parts right now, and I'm talking about more than just the fear of not being able to keep a roof over our heads or food in our stomachs. I'm talking about real fear, folks. Fear of whatever unknown forces seem to be circling our fair county like vultures ready to strike and devour us whole. These aren't forces that a president can deal with. These aren't forces that can be fixed with new economic or social policies. These aren't forces that can be reckoned with by bureaucracy. No, these are dark and sinister forces. These are forces from beyond. Demons escaped from the gates of hell. Unholy abominations wandering through the forests and hiding in the swamps. Waiting, watching, looking for some kind of sign. A sign of the beginning of the end times. Folks, keep your loved ones close and your enemies even closer, because troublesome times are coming.
Can I get somebody to roll me, I need each person to roll me 2d6. Don't tell me your total, tell me your each dice.
1-4. Baba Jack, strangest thing happened the other night at the Taggart place. Middle of the night, Bayard drowned in the bathtub. Thing was, the basin was dry and the boy's body swelled up like a sponge. They had you drag him out because Mama and Pa couldn't bring themselves to touch him.
So what I did, I got a bunch of big grain sacks and like wrapped them up in those and some twine, so nobody would see how bloated and gross he was. Also, so he wouldn't pop like a grape you squish underneath your toe, and I hoist him up on my shoulder and take him out to Sweetie the mule, throw him over Sweetie's back, and we're gonna take him down to the doc's office.
All right.
That was the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
It's the middle of the night. Y'all have all been roused out of your beds as Bayard's oldest sister, Jeanette Taggart, ran ragged through the town on the family horse, screaming for help because her brother done been killed.
All right.
I
grabbed my shit.
Do we need to roll d6s?
No, you guys can sit on that at the moment. All right. The old Taggart place is one of the oldest plantations of Taggart. It's one of the first 5 founding families of Tumbleson County. Unfortunately, their fields largely lie fallow, and there's only one field that they are actually able to functionally farm. Now, it's less likely because they lost their oldest son.
So halfway to the Doc's house, I veer off to the left and go to Zenobia's instead. I assume that you've got like an apartment up above the bookshop.
Yeah, third.
Lots of cats.
Just the one, actually.
But there's always 3 hiding in the corners.
The more I think about it, the more concerned I am that there's something, funny with the Taggart boy's body. Maybe it's a monster, like in one of Miss Zenobia's books. So maybe I should show it to her before we get to the sheriff, because I don't trust that sheriff. He's a Ferguson. So I lead the mule right up in front of the store. There's still some hitching posts on the street.
Oh, there's plenty of hitching posts out in the street.
So
it's still a horse and buggy town.
I tie Sweetie up, and I go and I start knocking on the glass door of the downstairs in the bookshop.
There's totally a bell. Like the most adorable.
He's still gonna knock right next to the string.
I knock for a minute, and then I remember, like I always do, that there's a bell, and I'm like, oh, I need to use the bell. Ding ding.
All right. Zenobia's bookshop is in downtown Youngtown, and by downtown I mean it's at the intersection. The intersection.
20 years from now, it'll get a stoplight.
Yeah. Across the street is the Hotel Masada, which is a historical hotel which Special Agent Simon Gray has a room at in perpetuity. Some of your stuff is like ghost detecting equipment, like EKG meter type shit, and it goes off all the time. Particularly after in the witching hour, from midnight to 1 a.m.
The way that like folks' car alarms go off in an apartment complex.
Yeah,
it's just always getting set off.
Oil is my blood. Backseat.
Go on, somebody else.
So you're drunk.
Podunk
Town.
Podunk ghosts.
The intersection holds a dry goods shop, a pharmacy and soda bar, an old ice house, the Hotel Masada, and the bank.
I'm gonna stumble to my window.
I need to
Sheriff's
figure out where
office
it's-
in relation to the.
A little bit further off, because you don't want to. When genteel folk happen to be staying at the hotel, you don't necessarily want to wake up with a caterwauling of beaten drunks. It's actually across the street from where the old saloon used to be. The old bar.
So I wouldn't necessarily hear all this shit.
Not
going
with
on. I'm
him.
just
Maybe
You
like
heard
a.
because
because
Jeanette Taggart.
I'm ready for this shit
Yeah,
going
she comes into the
There you go.
she barrels into
You were just
the door of
fucking
your.
with Agent Gray.
So my ghost
His
detector
brain,
goes
his
off
brain,
and I wake
his
up.
brain.
We've just figured something else out while you and Nate were talking. Larissa?
I stay at the hotel
Thanks.
as well, just because it's easier. Don't want to don't want to add more mouths to feed there.
Right.
Don't want to impose on her. I got the site. I have the site, so
She's the reason all his ghost detective shit's always going off.
One of the 2 reasons.
I deliberately provoke them and get them to aggravate him.
The other thing is that unfortunately you can't turn the sight is not a flashlight. It sometimes
Yeah.
flicks on when other supernatural things interfere with you. And the Hotel Masada was the site of auctions, and lots of folks died in the grounds in agony, and so they're restless specters. Yeah, they were the lucky ones.
So
So their restless spirits still stalk.
They're
That's the
restless
whole-
spirits, and that's fine. I knew that moving in.
So I'm gonna stagger out of bed because I think my ghost shit's going off again, but it's just him fucking ringing bells across the street at the bookstore. So
I stick my head out because that's where
I'm
I
gonna go to
work.
light a cigarette and look at the window and blow it out, and I see him down there with a corpse. I'm like, oh.
You see him with bags. It doesn't look like a corpse.
It's a corpse-shaped series of bags
Draped over
because there's
a
one
mule.
at the top. And
I yell out the window, Bob it.
Yeah.
So I put on my jacket, my government apparel.
Simon, what's the innkeeper's name?
Fucking innkeep. He
I
has a
think
name?
She has a name. What's her name? You're the one that deals with it the most.
I stick my head out the window and start yelling at Papa Jack.
Susan.
Susan, but you don't bother to know her last name?
He doesn't know her first name. He just calls her Susan.
Every time
The sad thing is her name is Bethany, and so
No.
she's always confused.
Every single time she's like, it's Margaret. All right, Susan, I'm going to my room.
All right. When you look out and you see Bobby Jack with the corpse, and you put on your tie and you go for the door, she says, "Make sure you lock the door behind you," as she smokes a cigarette in your bed.
Hey.
What do I pay you for? Oh, right, that. And I lock it behind me.
Fucking government.
I stick my head out the
Your
window.
tax dollars at work.
Bobby Jack, what are you doing at this hour?
Shh! We don't want to wake nobody up except Mrs. Zenobia. I say way too loudly.
Too late, you Scooby-Doo motherfucker.
Don't you yell at my cousin.
In the door frame of the sheriff's office. Sheriff, I know you're no good, you're no good snake, but I need your help. My brother done been killed with hoodoo hex magic.
God damn it, Jeanette! I was fast asleep. You come storming in my damn office and damn near blow your head off. Slow down, woman. What do you mean somebody's done killed your brother?
Why are you sleeping in your office?
Well, because it's where I passed out. I mean,
I've done 3 pies.
That's our next shirt.
It's called.
Yeah.
I've done 3 pies.
It's called a diabetic coma.
Do you only have 1 foot?
I pissed powdered sugar.
Damn it, Jeanette! What the hell are you waking me up for, woman? What do you mean? So who's been killed? Why?
Bayard's been killed. I was telling you, it was a hex.
Are you sure he just didn't get drunk and fall down in the damn bathtub again? Because if I gotta come back out there and drag his sorry ass back out of the bathtub again, there's gonna be hell to pay.
Horace, I wouldn't use your Christian name if it wasn't serious. But as I rode on out here, the old oak tree was bereft of any of the nails. The flesh was full, and it was raining down around the roots. And if that ain't the sign of a powerful hex, working around all the redirection, I don't know what is.
Oh, God damn it.
Ding dong.
I'm downstairs. Bobby Jack, stop ringing the bell. If she's gonna hear you.
Come to the
Bobby Jack's got the body. I'm sure he's...
Oh, you gave the body to Bobby Jack?
Well,
Are you out of your mind, woman?
Bobby Jack wasn't gonna work no hex on
Bobby Jack's probably done dumped the body off in the forest somewhere, and he's fucking sitting on it right now. Jesus. Fine. Let me get my damn uniform on.
That's
Shit.
so. Why would you say that about my good brother Bayard? Bobby Jack ain't no heathen.
Your brother
So
Bayard's
you're
a,
passed
your
out
brother Bayard's a
naked
drunk
in your
bastard. We know.
office eating pie?
No, what I envisioned is I'm just in like long johns and my hat. When you come in, I'm sitting and basically my gut is just that's where the plate rests. So it's you come busting in and it's just pie plate and fork, crumbs and
I call that nature's pie rest.
that's right.
Do you have a sheriff's badge like on your long johns?
Long johns, yeah. So I don't.
It's just a star sewn onto it.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. There you
Says
go.
Sheriff.
All right, so
I imagine that I'm going to start ambling down the street towards the intersection to see what the hell's going on.
well, you see Bobby.
I think I'll have my sheriff shirt on, but it's still going to be the long john bottoms and just my boots. And I'm still, I am irritable as hell.
Hold on.
Sheriff, will you put some damn clothes on?
Is the back buttoned?
Nope.
That's where you can see his King
Actually,
Chesney
no.
tattoo.
It's half open, so you just see one cheek.
It's tasteful.
Tasteful.
I don't know what kind of flavor you think that is.
Yeah, he ain't from the Devil's Playground. He buttons one side of his drawers.
So I'm gonna come out of the hotel just chain smoking. And
I'm following him behind, trying to get over to you. No, I'm already out.
I'm just gonna.
Bobby Jack.
Bobby Jack, where are you coming from?
Hey, everybody. I'm just coming from the Taggart place, and
Say no more.
Bobby Jack, what are you doing? What are all these people doing on my porch?
Bobby Jack, please tell me that ain't a body in the bag.
well, Mama says not to lie,
Oh, God bless.
so I can't tell you it ain't a body.
Whose is it?
Hold on, let me put my shotgun away.
Oh, or don't. We might need
Rudy,
it.
put the shotgun
It might wake
down.
up.
It's just a simple
I'll
boy.
come downstairs and there's a pot of coffee already on the stove.
Evening, Miss Albright. Evening, Mrs. Albright. I'm sorry, Wesson.
That completely goes over my head. I hold up one of the.
He doesn't even live here,
Simon. I hold up one of the water bloated arms of the Taggart body.
Put it back in the boy!
And I say, some haint got a hold of this boy, and it, don't look no good.
Papa Jack, put it back in the bag.
I'm finally fucking roused. I'm like, neat.
Papa Jack, put that poor Taggart boy back in the bag.
I say, as I'm tucking him back into the burlap sack, I say, I was on my way to Doc's, but I figured there might be something in one of your spooky books that talk about what done this.
Oh, fuck the dog. This is neat. I'm like draping him back.
So as I'm pushing him back into the burlap sacks, you're like pulling parts of out of the burlap sacks. So
Agent, knock it off.
I've got my medic kit out.
Oh God!
Can you please just bring some?
Oh, here comes the
down
sheriff.
to the yard on the side, please.
Oh, here comes the sheriff. This should be fun.
Inside the fence. God damn it.
See, I told you he wasn't going to treat Bayard that way. He's treating him with full blown respect. Shrouded in burlap like an honest man. My brother ain't no drunk.
First off,
Jeanette. So I look up as I'm like bleeding him, and I'm like, what?
First thing I'm going to do Monday morning is establish a goddamn curfew in this town to keep you people out of the streets in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep.
Is it the middle of the night?
Now, Bobby Jack, what in the hell do you have in that bag? If I go in there and find Baynard and he's passed out snoring because he's drunk, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's
oh no, Baynard's dead as a skunk.
It's only 9.
All right.
What did I miss?
Oh no, you're good.
Sure.
Roll sharp.
I don't know how that works, but those
roll those, add those and add sharp.
6.
Okay.
Can I be?
You were investigating the mystery. You get to ask me a question based off of what is on the hunter agenda sheet that we gave to you.
Yep.
It's on the front sheet, second column, bottom part.
Investigative mystery.
Yeah.
Can I speak with the ghost of Mr. Taggart?
I don't see why you couldn't possibly do some hoodoo.
So I guess let's go around in a circle then.
Yeah.
So
we will rocket Wittershin from Ancient Simon coming around.
Yeah. So you're investigating. You want to talk?
He cut the body open.
Yeah. You cut the body open and start looking at the fluids. What's Cousin Sammy want to do?
Cousin Sammy is trying to figure out if the ghost is lingering around and if he's willing to talk to her.
All right.
What happened here?
What happened here?
I would like to be getting a plastic tarp to put under the body so that this doesn't get all over my yard. Simon?
Good idea.
It's good for the mulch.
No, it's not.
I've got a straw. I'm like swishing it around.
All right. So Mrs. Zenobia is getting a tarp.
Okay.
Well, what's Sheriff Ferguson going to do?
Split.
Yell at all of us.
I don't know.
That's gross, Simon.
I guess I guess I would walk over to Simon, because I'm already seeing he's examining the body.
Right.
He's playing the role of coroner, so
I'm just real drunk and belligerent right now. So I'm just, hey, illegitimate sheriff, boat robbing.
So I can do what? Any of these things?
You can do any of these things, and those things usually snowball onto them. So we'll get back to you.
Miss Zenobia has already established that there's a pot of coffee on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take
yourself.
I'm gonna take Miss Jeanette in, sit her down, pour her some coffee, and try to calm her down. I know she's really upset because of what happened to her brother. So I'm gonna do my best to make Miss Jeanette, at least as calm and relaxed as you can be, considering the situation.
Right.
Okay. I know what I'm gonna do.
Who? Jeanette? I don't know. It's up to you. You got to find out. Okay, so when
she can't get
what happened here? As far as you can tell, when you cut it open, the fluid starts spilling out. There's suds. There's a whole bunch of detritus because he was probably the last one to bathe. As far as you can tell, basically the bathwater shoved itself inside of his body. Especially because Jeanette keeps talking about how the tub was bone dry.
All right,
Well, that's what happens if you have a bath more than once a week.
I'm going to walk up and as he's doing this.
You also notice that tadpoles are in the water.
So
so they're pouring out of him.
Yeah.
And like when you cut him, it's a small cut, and like there's an it seems like there's an internal pressure. Yeah.
It's like a thumb over the hose.
That's all over the yard.
So as he's doing this, as he's walking over, just as he's doing that, I mean, the hell happened to this rat bastard son bitch? And I'm gonna, when that shit starts to spill out all over the place, I'm gonna do read a bad situation, because I think that's what this qualifies as.
Absolutely. As the water sprays out like a high pressure hose, the water actually starts coming together. Read a bad situation.
Okay, so roll plus sharp. So my sharp's
While they're
plus 2.
distracted, I'm going to be trying to talk to the ghost because I want to do this
Not
one.
bad.
Yes.
He ain't paying
Okay.
attention.
Right.
I rolled a 10 with my plus.
Okay, and what's the move officially called on there?
The move is called the sight.
Read the sight from top to bottom.
You can see the invisible, especially spirits and magical influence. You can communicate, maybe even make deals with the spirits you see, and they give you more opportunities to spot clues when you investigate a mystery.
All right. You rolled a 10. On the thing where it says investigate a mystery, you get to ask him 2 questions.
Okay.
You conjure up his spirit. The face is burbling from the water. You guys don't necessarily see, you don't see that part as it seems to start forming. It's actually coming back together as it sprays outward.
What happened here?
Sheriff, remind me, did y'all have a bathwater chugging contest today?
What happened here?
The bathwater was animated through malign will and shoved down his throat. Some, I swear, I just clipped my nails and somebody got in my little hidey hole and got all my affectations and excretions.
So the bathwater animated went in him.
The Taggarts are ignorant son bitches, but I don't think it was on the docket. No.
I could ask him 2, you said?
So on my read a bad situation, I rolled an 8.
What is it going to do?
Plus 2.
You got a what?
I got it. So 8 plus 2 for my bonus. So I rolled a 10. So it says I get to hold 3. 1 hold can be spent to ask the keeper one of the following questions.
Yep. It's probably this.
What's your nose name?
Sweetie.
Sweetie?
Yeah, Sweetie the mule.
Probably try to kill everyone.
Oh hell!
Hey, Bobby J, how fast can Sweetie run?
Oh, she's the fastest mule in the county.
Excellent.
But what does that mean?
So what are you gonna spend? What are you gonna spend for your read a bad sitch?
Okay.
We most
So I rolled a
surely
10.
are.
It says
Yes,
hold
what did you
3.
see?
1 hold. So does that mean I can ask 3 questions of the keeper?
Yes.
In succession.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
So you tell me all the things.
Meaning, yes, there are dangers you haven't noticed.
Okay. What's the biggest threat?
Probably that tiger boy's body.
I have a feeling for this.
What's the best way to protect the victims?
The best way is probably going to involve a salt circle. And or some fancy government doodads.
Instead
I'm over
of
here
that,
telling her what I saw.
Okay.
the body's still on the mule, right?
No, I've taken Miss
She's
Jeanette.
on the tarp on the ground. You cannot kick the mule in the ass to make it run.
I've taken Miss Jeanette into the kitchen, and we're getting her some coffee, and
no,
they're trying to calm her down. Yeah, the body is still like flumped over the back of Sweetie the mule.
Is it? I thought you guys brought it in.
I thought we laid it down on the
side.
Oh, it's right on the side. Okay. One thing
yeah.
that you'll notice, as it's deflated, as all the water's pumped out, there's a whole bunch of things burbling inside his stomach, and his gut, abdominal wall, and skin splits like an overripe melon when you throw it up and drop it with a bunch of force, as a whole bunch of frog things that are more mouth than anything else. Anything else are about as big as that Mississippi mud bottle start jumping all over the place. The smell of acrid caustic burning rises as he pops open, and they're all over y'all.
So my plan was...
What do you do?
Shoot.
Sound great. What do you do? What's your plan?
Okay, remind me again. The body is not on the mule.
The body is apparently on the mule, off to the side.
Yeah, the mule was like led around to the side of the building.
Well, I'm still fucking with it because it's neat.
Yeah, you're still fucking with the body. The body is still on the back of the mule.
The frog's coming out of the body.
Yes, they're bleeping out of the body. Sweetie freaks the fuck out. The smell of acid on hair is filling everything. She's actually got a whole bunch.
She would bug that thing.
Oh no, she's freaking out. There's actually a big chunk, like a fucking scoop of ice cream, has been taken out of her neck, where one of the things clamped on, closed its mouth, and fell off.
All right.
Oh no.
Sweetie's the fastest mule.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
Sweetie needs to
grenade.
get the fuck out.
Open the corpse's mouth. Slap the mule's ass. Pull out my 9mm. Start shooting.
Roll to act under pressure.
No, what are you doing? Why do you want it to spread?
We need to keep this contained. He's
also
gonna go drop the entire
Well,
town.
you get the damn thing the hell away from here.
That's a pretty good roll, though.
That is
Damn.
Holy shit.
Can I please know
All right.
what I'm doing?
Act under pressure.
Cool.
Is it cool or sharp?
This
Cool.
whole point is probably
All right,
this one.
so I've got +3 cool, so that's 13.
13.
I think we just won the game.
Oh no, he does what he wants to do. You slap it on the ass, the mule bolts. You notice that there's a large crimson trail fading off into the edge of light as the panic causes its heart rate to increase and arterial spray down the side of the building.
What the hell is wrong with you, Agent?
It's like a Gallagher show.
So I'm gonna cross Sweetie the Mule off my character sheet.
I want you to roll me a d6.
I found the reason why I left the
3.
agency.
When does the
Simon.
grenade go off?
Oh, hell.
You hear, you see a boom. And you know, that explosion seems like it was a little bit lower than the rest of the mule. You're not really sure what that meant.
Lower than the rest of the mule?
Like the mule was yay high, the explosion was down here, like just above the ground.
Okay.
I hope Sweetie's
The
fine.
corpse fell down, I guess.
The toads are all over the fucking place.
God bless.
She had a fucking toad ate out her femoral artery.
And now there ain't nothing but toads
Bobby,
everywhere.
you just
Well
heard the
done.
panic scream of Sweetie, your bestest, greatest friend in all the world. You know, you hand raised her when she dropped out of her mama's womb, and you made sure that she didn't die. I remember you hand raised her with the bottle and everything.
Making sure that Miss Jeanette's got a cup of coffee. I leap out the second-story window, legs pumping.
Wait, she doesn't have the coffee yet.
I did that last round.
It doesn't have cream and sugar.
Yeah, no, she'll take a black. Like for me. But
You grind up and in her freezer?
I'm doing what could go wrong.
You asked if she was a monster. Just not a supernatural one.
What could go wrong whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets? Hold 2. So what I'm doing is I just leap out the second-story window. You know, like I said, legs pumping like I'm running.
Right.
Hoping to hit the ground running towards the direction of Sweetie's panic screams.
Bobby Jack, no. Bobby Jack, please.
Bobby Jack seems legit as anything else anyone said to do.
So I can spend my hold to inflict +1 harm, reduce somebody's harm suffered by 1, or take +2 forward on an act under pressure roll. So I'm assuming that I'm banking this to reduce someone else's harm for Sweetie. That's my plan.
That's your plan?
Yeah.
All right. You can absolutely do that. I do need you to make an act under pressure roll to basically you're gonna pop out the second story window towards the back of the building, and you're gonna fucking God, what's the fucking movie where he jumps out the window and lands on his horse?
Any Western?
Yeah, you're like a Golden Age Western. Feel that one with Dolly Parton. Or was it Jane Fonda? Anyway, or both. And you are going to catch Sweetie around the neck. You roll well enough.
All right, so I get a +2 on act under pressure.
If you spin the hold.
I have a +1 on cool, so that's 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's a 12.
All right. You will catch up to you. Acting under pressure, you will leap out the window that leads towards the back of Zenobi's bookshop. Because even if you're not book smart, you know your way around things, and you can catch up to Sweetie and spin that hold to reduce her harm.
All right, we stop, drop, and roll.
Right. Do you actually tackle her?
I tackle her. Yeah, and like rolling her on the ground, like squishing frogs.
Well, that explains why the corpse falls off.
I'm like stomping on frogs with my feet.
There's an explosion.
I ignore it. I'm just taking care of Speed. Things blow up a lot. I don't question it.
Like a
much.
Michael Bay movie, he doesn't even look back.
Yeah, don't even
He's too
flinch.
fucking cool for that. Mark off a point of harm from the left to the right. You might want to use a pencil instead of the pen.
Okay.
So that's a gel pen. That's one that you don't erase and can't wash.
That's fine.
You catch you actually catch a stick in the back, and when you come up, it's planted up in underneath your ribs.
I no sell it.
Right, of course. Like a fucking chain. Sweetie needs you to be confident. She needs you to be strong for her.
Wouldn't it be a bone?
Goddamn retard in his ass.
It could be a stone.
Bobby Jack!
I look at Horace. I've been trying to kill that fucking mule for months.
What are you doing?
My turn?
It is absolutely your turn.
All right. So, preparedness. I need something right now for this right now.
You know, I know the agency sent me down here on a
So,
wild goose
salt
chase,
from
but I
the
think
Dead
those
Sea.
motherfuckers might really be immortal.
Oh, wow. Salt of the Dead Sea, huh?
Yes.
Right?
Kills everything.
Dead.
Anything.
Okay.
D-E-D.
Okay, so you need a roll for
I've hit him
preparedness
with
for
my
that,
car
right?
7
Yes.
times.
Roll plus
Each
sharp.
time he apologizes to me.
7, 8, 9. Oh, on a 7 to 9 you have it, not here. It'll take some time to get it. Damn.
It's like a fucking Canadian Highlander.
It's in the kitchen.
Well, unfortunately, it's up on the second story and you're out on the first.
God damn it. Okay. So I had to go leap up the stairs
All right.
as best I can.
As
for a
you
librarian.
be like, I've got it somewhere. Shit, it's upstairs. And you turn and you start running for the door. One of the toads takes a chunk out of your calf.
Mother. I say all the bad words in every language ever.
Sure thing. Mark off 2 harm.
Miss Zenobia is going to have to put a penny in the
you
swear
got,
jar.
You got your gun, right, Simon?
Yeah, I already said I got my 9 out.
He's got the 9. He's got the 9 out. What are you doing?
I got my 38 pulled at this
Roll
point.
to kick some
My
ass. What are you doing?
38's out.
Roll to kick ass.
Not bad.
Hot damn!
I'll take it.
Those Ferguson boys know how to roll some dice.
Damn.
Well, to be fair,
Killing
see-
toads. Killing some fucking toads. On a 10 plus, choose 1 extra effect. You gain the advantage, take 1 forward, or give 1 forward to another hunter. You inflict terrible harm. Ooh. You suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them. Well, I want them all gone. I don't think that's an option.
I forced them all towards the exploding corpse.
How many grenades did you put in there?
How many you want?
Literally infinity. The world is done.
All the frogs.
All right. So, what'd you roll? What's the special extra effect you're
So
taking?
10. So special effect. I'm gonna take 1 forward.
You're gonna take 1 forward, so that's giving you a +1 to future rolls.
Yes.
Okay. The toads, and you inflict your harm to the toads,
Right.
and they inflict their harm to you.
Okay. So my harm to the toads based on it's 2 harm, close reload, loud.
Okay, so that means you have to describe reloading after you use it.
Okay.
So reload means that whenever you roll 6 or less, I can just say, yeah, you ran out.
So 38 revolver. I mean, I'm assuming this is a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So
It's a 38 revolver is the cop special.
right. So right, what I'm saying
Did he
is
kill
I
6
just killed a frog with a bullet. That
Oh
was
no,
this-
you're firing into the mass because they're
Okay.
like a swarm.
Okay. So gotcha.
There's a
So-
swarm of acid frogs, of demonic frogs, and there's a water element.
So I just unloaded 6 into it.
yeah, use your
Okay.
Um,
And that does 2 harm.
yeah.
Okay.
They deal 2 harm to you as little bits of them fly off and burn you and scald you. One of the things you notice...
Fuck, it's like dropping a hot pie on my chest.
You know, that's actually a really good comparison. If you've ever
bitch, it burns.
If you've ever seen what happens in real life when a steam main blows and automatically cooks people that don't realize they're dead, that's kind of what it looks like in a small localized portion, where a piece of you has just been cooked after being exposed to something that's native to the fires of perdition.
Is there any terrain around me that's advantageous?
A what?
Any advantageous terrain around me?
There is a step. There's some stairs that you can get up on that go up and around, because they go up and around to the veranda, so you can get in a better, more advantageous position, and also put more distance between you and said swarm of frogs and/or water elemental. Otherwise, any terrain you want to suggest that is also totally valid. There's a tree. You can climb a tree.
All right. Now I'll start walking up the stairs, and with my roll, I got an 11, so I'm just gonna take less harm.
You're going to take less harm, so you take 1 harm.
Okay.
And you deal your harm.
I rolled
Which
a
is
7, so
2? 2. You roll 7?
7, so 2 and 2.
Yes, you hurt each other.
Okay.
This is just the demon frogs. We haven't even gotten into the water elemental.
So now that I'm out of close.
Yeah. You're a little more distant. We're gonna go ahead and go for another round. Zenobia, you find your salt of the Dead Sea mixed in with tears from Saint Dionysius, the Areopagite, the sort of thing that's used to bind hounds of resurrection and other fell abyssal demons.
That's tap water and Epsom.
Maybe I need
The same thing, yeah.
It was in the bread box.
I got it at the Piggly Wiggly.
Ugly what?
Not-
Pig. Is this Florida all of a sudden? Does that just make that suddenly makes Bobby Jack extra terrifying because he's a Florida man?
Oh, there's Piggly Wigglies all over Arkansas.
I know.
That's actually anytime that we would be visiting all my hillbilly relatives. That was like the store. That was if we went into one of the bigger towns that would have a Piggly Wiggly.
But did you have a Hoggly Woggly?
No, I've never been to a Hoggly Woggly.
That's in Florida. That's actually a local franchise. That's in competition with Piggly Wiggly.
There's no competition with Piggly Wiggly. They've got a weekly special on pig's knuckles that can't be beat.
I'm just saying, somebody predicted Jeff Foxworthy night.
Well,
the 5 Piggly Wiggly bags and the igloo duct tape closed.
The town that my mother's from, Warren, doesn't have any restaurants or stores or anything.
Is it all Walmart?
No. That's like 30 miles to the nearest Walmart.
Right.
But if you go to that town, there's a Walmart, there's a Tasty Freeze, and there's a Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, there you go.
Those are like the 3 and I think I'm pretty sure there's a gas station.
I think the prerequisite for any retail establishment in the South is it has to have 2 names and they have to in some way be hyphenated.
Warren, from what I remember, it had like an auto body shop and a bait shop, and I think those were the only businesses that I remember being in town.
All right, Zenobia, I need you to chew with your mouth closed, and then you're gonna have to roll an act under pressure to not fumble thumb your Dead Sea salt.
What are you cooking at a time like this?
Well, always time for fried chicken.
You were the reason I left,
Damn.
I dipped my finger in it and tasted it.
God damn, I thought it was sugar.
So you're rolling act under pressure.
Sheriff's got diabetes.
11
Diabetes.
plus whatever.
All right.
So 12.
So the water elemental has actually trickled in a stream underneath the stairs of your of the porch to your store.
No, but it's protected.
Right, but it's tracking. No, it's tracking him. Like your store is protected, but the porch and the thing is technically outside your property. The ward because the wards are etched into the foundation of the store itself. So you run down there. You've got your Dead Sea salt. How do you administer it? Do you go after the water elemental? Do you go after the horde of demon toads that are taking scoops out of everybody?
Well, since I don't actually know there's a water elemental yet.
Oh, that's fair. You can see the frogs. The frog's flesh is black, and when they open their mouths, it's that lime green color that's not actually found in nature outside of very poisonous climes. Arguably Brazil. Or
And they're
Australia.
exploding as fast as we can shoot.
Yeah, they're firing, and like there's a whole bunch of them. When they open their mouths, they have those really long, like tentacle-y tongues, like a Mike Mignola illustration. And as they shoot and they spatter and their fluids go everywhere, that is similarly like highlighter green.
Well, my intention is to take the whole bag downstairs with me and like pour it on all of the frogs.
All right, you're gonna go down there.
Just like spray the salt everywhere.
Is Jeanette spazzing out?
Nah, it's this time.
Jeanette's like, why's all the gunfire? Oh God!
Jeanette, stay out there!
If she was concerned that her brother's body was being put into burlap sacks, she's really going to have a problem with her brother's body being blown up by hand grenades and cannibalistic frogs.
Jeanette, stay on up there, honey.
It was like that when I got here.
She'll probably just faint.
We blame the stupid agent.
All right. When you throw the dead sea salt on there, the frogs start spasming out and acting like invertebrates, like a slug. When you throw a little bit of rock salt on its back, and it starts flipping and freaking the fuck out. Or when you put alcohol on the back of a scorpion and it stabs itself. It's that sort of thing where an entity with limited information has just met its fucking kryptonite. So they start flipping and turning inside out and like popping and spattering everywhere.
So gross.
I'm moving the hell
Everyone
out of
in
the
the vicinity, so pretty much everybody with you and Bobby Jack gets spattered for another harm.
Ow.
Except me.
Because you walked up the stairs.
Where did I put that?
All right, so you've been scorched and burned.
I'm moving the hell out of the way.
Okay.
I'm moving up the tree.
You're going to start scrambling up that tree?
Yeah.
And it's totally got that whole bent oak thing where it comes up and then comes at an angle and then comes back up.
Okay.
You know,
I love those
in a big jack.
I'm not paying attention. I think it's a dryad. I start shooting at the dryad.
Player say it must be.
Yeah.
Roll 2d6.
I can't.
Act under pressure.
Everybody?
That would be a 6, so maybe not.
All right, so you scramble, start getting up the tree. You hear gunfire. A bit of bark and wood flies off, and then because player said it must be true, start firing at the tree.
I forgot we were playing under that rule, so I'll be careful.
You hear a rush of water behind you, and then next thing you know, you've got that whole refraction thing of being underwater.
Fucking do it! I fucking do it!
And then you get
fucking do it!
and whatever it's called in pro wrestling when Lady Wrestler A grabs Lady Wrestler B by the hair and throws her down onto the back of her head.
That's called a snapmare takeover.
There you go. You get
Of course, there's a name for it.
the water elemental snapmare takeovers you back first into the porch and starts trying to pull you through the planks proper.
Do I have to save him?
If we weren't playing, player says it, I'd say I'm going to pull out my gun and start shooting at the elemental. But I don't say that because we are playing.
It's up to you, buddy. What do you do?
I don't know. Make it stop. I take out my
Do I have to save
anti-water elemental government issued in case of emergencies.
So tell me about that. What is that exactly?
He dilutes the water with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it's mostly holy olive oil and whiskey. I've been using it on my
comes from a different
herpes.
school of witchcraft.
I've been using it to cure various rashes that I've.
Well, I figure you might have like a keychain of like saints medals that are from the Vatican and little reliquaries and stuff, like saints bones.
Is that what the guy in the mummy had?
Yeah, that too.
Look, we don't need a Rome telling us what to do.
We just take it from them and do what we want.
This is a good Southern Baptist town.
Do you have a bullet that's made out of a finger bone? All right, so.
Oh wait, I drink them.
You drink them?
I drink them.
Roll me that act under pressure. Because that's exactly what that is.
It's a 6 roll.
Drinking the water element?
So that's
Plus
plus
your
Char.
cool.
Hey, I can drink.
Yeah, plus you're cool.
Oh, that's right. The
Add
alcohol
3.
in your blood again.
9.
Roll your crippling alcoholism.
Add 1 point to crippling alcoholism as your lizard.
Roll for cirrhosis.
Well, it could be,
All right, so you go,
magically blessed.
and as
like,
you
holy consecrated wine.
as you pull in, you usually one of the things that happens is when it encapsulates your head, you start hearing howls echoing like as if they're distorted through water. You drink and your eyes start watering, and you can feel like the tears slapping against your corneas. You drink the water elemental, and your stomach feels really terrible.
All right.
And then you hear like a ribbit from inside you.
Well, if that don't beat all, I've heard of being consumed by evil, but not necessarily consuming evil yourself. To find out if Agent Gray's thirst for danger gets quenched for good, just keep your radio tuned right here to AM 72 WCOC, the voice of reason in Tumbleson County. This is Henry Blackwood saying, until next time, may the Almighty keep us all safe in these troublesome times.